Every day, thousands of pounds of waste is dumped into landfills when it could have otherwise been recycled or not used in the first place. And while this is a bigger problem in states that have less legislature on environmental change and greener impacts, such as the southern states or the traditionally more conservative states, it's still an issue in states such as California or Colorado or New York that tend to be more environmentally conscious or supposedly environmentally conscious. The issue is that politicians and people of power will tell you that you are the problem, that you as the individual American are the problem. You need to recycle more. You need to use less single waste plastic. You need to choose different methods of transportation, such as electric vehicles that are supposedly greener to the environment. And while recycling is important, trust me, I recycle just as much as the next person. It's almost as if you're taking a spoonful of water out of Lake Hartwell, which doesn't really do much difference by yourself. And while it does do a difference if 7 billion people take a spoonful of water from Lake Hartwell, it's not enough, and it's not the direct change that needs to be made. The bigger issue actually lies in companies' recycling apathy and what causes the recycling apathy. While I'm in no way condemning capitalism at all, capitalism is a system that inherently makes it where money is king. Money controls everything. While companies might sell you different products from cars to makeup to food, all companies that are public, their real goal, their real business model is to make money for their shareholders at any cost necessary. If this means cutting employees, using worse practices for the environment, it does not matter as long as they make their shareholders more money, because in the end of the day, that's who they're working for. They are working for their shareholders. That's how they get paid. This system inevitably removes the importance of recycling from a company's priorities. A company can have the best priorities set up by the best CEO. However, over time, capitalism kind of takes those priorities out of the system and drives any company to a money hungry, we need to make money for our shareholders. While everyone should recycle, I do believe that, and everyone should do their part as they can. The main focus to make the planet greener and make the earth a better place should be to have companies and people invest in greener practices. And different people have different opinions on this. Like I said earlier, Colorado and New York and California have imposed different legislature, causing different policies to be put in place to make their states a greener place, and it somehow causes companies to have to cut back on single-use supplies and stuff like that, and that can be good. However, it inevitably takes money away from the taxpayer, because the money cuts that the companies have to make greener policies have to come from somewhere. They increase the money they charge the customers or what have you. And different people have different views on the systems of government. And I'm not here to argue what the best system of government is. I'm here to say that we live in a capitalist society and we cannot change that at the moment. So knowing that statement, that we live in a capitalist society and cannot change it, I do not believe that more legislature is going to solve any issues, whether the plastic straws are completely banned like they have been in San Francisco and other parts of California, or whether single-use plastic bags are banned, or there's a tax on them like there is in some grocery stores in Colorado. I do not believe that will solve the problem. I believe that's putting a Band-Aid on the actual problem that is a wound. The government is run by lobbying money that comes from all these companies. So I believe that greener legislature is as unlikely to solve the issue as leaving a 10-year-old home alone and telling him and expecting him to go to bed at an earlier bedtime than his original bedtime. This means that I do not believe that the government that is run by lobbying money is going to choose to cause the people that they're working for to have to pay more money, which is the companies that have all the money. Second, if more laws are put in place to enact greener policies, then companies will just find a way around them. Like I said, companies are in charge of making their shareholders money, and they will do that by any means necessary. And if this means cutting corners in ways that and making loopholes around these different laws that the government enacts, then so be it. That's what they're going to do. I believe the only way to solve these issues, not to put a band-aid on them, but to solve these issues, is to devise a way to make the greener solution the cheapest solution. This means that the greener solution, that plastic cups, styrofoam cups, that better material for the cups is cheaper for companies. I think that because of the system we have right now, there is going to be no way that these companies are going to end up choosing the greener option unless it truly becomes the more profitable option for them. We need to make the greener option the more profitable option for companies. This means that the average environmentally loving individual must care enough to enact their own change instead of becoming the victim and placing the blame on government policy, on a certain party, on companies that don't care, like, oh, Chick-fil-A has styrofoam cups because they don't care about the environment. No, Chick-fil-A cares about making their shareholders money, so styrofoam cups are cheaper to them. That's what they are going to do. If someone cared enough to where they made a cup that is more environmentally conscious, that composts and breaks down within 90 days, and they made that cup mass produced at a cheaper rate to Chick-fil-A than the styrofoam cup and sold it to Chick-fil-A, that is the true solution to making the planet a greener and a better place. And that is the only way to solve climate change.